Good evening, CLC. I'm Naomi Feta. Thank you so much for joining me here this evening. So, as you know, over the last couple of weeks, started talking about the promises of God and just how powerful it is to speak them over ourselves and over our doubt, because we all want to silence those doubts, to be strong and move forward in a life of faith with God. Right? We all have these times when we're discouraged, when we are struggling to believe, when God seems far away. And one of the ways that we can battle this is to begin to speak truth over ourselves and to begin to speak truth to the thoughts that we're having that might tell us um, that we're not worth it, or that we're alone, or that we can't do this, or whatever it might be. So the best way to combat our thinking, toxic thinking, is to take our thoughts captive and surrender them to Christ. And one of the ways to do that is to elevate the power of His Word over our own thoughts. And so one of the ways that we do this really truly is by reading scripture, reading promises in the Bible, and bringing it back to Him and saying, Lord, I believe. I'm going to choose to believe that what you said here is true. Help me with my unbelief. So, one of the promises that I'm looking at today is in Hebrews chapter 13. And it is the promise that He will never leave us nor forsake us. So maybe this passage is familiar to you and maybe it's not. But what it brought me back to was thinking about, how much, say, abandonment has to do with our inner feelings. Um, I know that I lost a parent when I was a child. And so this feeling of being alone or abandonment, it's a real thing. And it can carry over into our adulthood, especially when you're kids. It was like you have someone or parents there protecting you and providing for you. And as we start adulting, sometimes we have to, get up and take responsibility for the bills and for the decisions and for all of those things. And it can feel like we're alone. It can feel like decisions or finances or whatever it is can threaten to overwhelm us and make us feel like we can't do this, or like the things that are going on are too big, whatever it is. And I know it's something that many of us struggle with, because there is comfort in knowing that someone else will take care of things for us. So I've read this passage many times, but I didn't even quite correlate this. You start in verse 5. This is Hebrews chapter 13. It says, "Don't love money. Be satisfied with what you have, for God said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you." So we can say with confidence, "The Lord is my helper, so I will have no fear. What can mere people do to me?" What I never realized before is that love of money, being satisfied with what you have, is in the same verse with when God says, I will never fail you, I will never abandon you. And how powerful that is, because I think that, I don't know about you, but for many of us, money or fear of lack or concern about money can often be something that we forget that to trust God with it. And I just think, so He is this good Father who provides for His children. And in the flesh, in our own thinking, it is not a natural thought. It's not something that we naturally think, oh, I'm good, God's going to provide for me. but how much he wants us to come to him with this element of trust in all areas of our life. So I just encourage you, if that is something that you struggle with, to bring that concern to him and say, Lord, like, I believe that you will never leave me, you'll never abandon me, that you will provide, that you are the good father, and he is your helper. So those are just some, if you want to call them, power thoughts for the week. But when you start to feel that sense of overwhelm, feeling like you're alone, or feeling like whatever it is too big of a task during your week, too big of a decision, you aren't alone. Whether it is financial, whether it's decision making, whether it's a big job at work or parenting, whatever it is, he's there. He wants to be the present father with you in each and every day. And he doesn't want you to live with feelings of abandonment. And so as you go about your week, you remember and be encouraged to know you are not alone, and he will never forsake you. He is your helper. God bless you, and look forward to seeing you here next week. Be sure to check us out in person at 20 West Main Street in Catskill, meeting at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. We'd love to see you there.